Hey everyone, Bait here. I've been getting a lot of requests in the comments to go over my specific healer build that I play, and I've gotten some requests in game as well. So that is what we're going to be doing. Honestly, I didn't expect people to really care what healer spec I was running. Most people really just want to know what spec does the most damage. Give me the build that I can do the most damage with. That's usually how that goes. You don't really see too many people requesting a build on how to heal or I wouldn't say how to tank. Some people do request videos on that because it can deal damage. Today I'm going to showcase my healer build and also a secondary build that I use for farming, be it by myself doing contracts or with a group farming any of the abyss dungeons that are out in the open. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's get the whole topic of gear out of the way first, because that's going to be a lot of people's concern is, do I even have the gear to pull anything like this off? And I'll let you know right now, you most likely do. A lot of the videos that I've posted of these dungeon guides, or really anything you've seen of me healing, has been with a just random mix match of gear that I've been acquiring, trying to build towards a DPS set that I can use while healing. And in my most recent videos, I've actually just been healing dungeons and other content with a full PvP set. So it really just has all evasion and max health. It doesn't even have anything like cooldown reduction, mana regen, buff duration, or anything like that. So, don't be worried if you don't have the gear. You will do just fine. A lot of these fights, especially for these 1-star dungeons that we have currently in the game, they don't require as much of an investment in gear to heal as you may think. They're more mechanic than they are on just raw healing power. Now, for those of you who do want to know what gear you should be aiming for as a healer, it will really just be any gear that can give you max mana, cooldown reduction, and mana regen. Those will really be your primary stats. So if you can find gear while leveling that have that on it, or gear with traits that have those stats on it, that'll be beneficial for you. Playing as a wand healer, you do have a passive that increases your healing output per 1,000 points of mana. So the more mana you have in increments of 1,000, the more healing you'll do. Also, the mana regen will help you in battles not actually drain out of mana as quickly. And then, of course, the cooldown reduction helps you cycle through your abilities more frequently. Now, unlike other games that have a specific healing stat that you have to kind of invest into, in this game, a lot of your heals will just benefit from your damage. So they will heal off of your base damage. So the more damage that you would do, that would just translate into more healing that you would do. So technically you can heal as a completely full pure DPS. The only issue that you may run into is usually they don't build the mana and the mana regen, so you'll empty out your mana fairly quickly, and depending on your group, you may not kill the boss in time for you to run out of that mana. So just keep an eye out for that. With all that out of the way, on screen will be a picture of the build that I run. I do run the healing defensive from wand. If you don't want to and you want to run bow, you can. It's not required. As for the other abilities, they can be adjusted to suit your play group, play style. I run with a lot of new players right now, so I have more defensive abilities in there than offensive, but you can easily drop, let's say, Blessed Barrier and Invincible Wall to grab more offensive abilities. The last slot, that 12th slot with the sleep, I currently have that in there because I just got finished with Death's Abyss dungeon, which requires a CC on that second mini boss. If you are running something that doesn't require CCs, then you can instead run with Cursed Explosion or any other offensive ability you choose. Now, as I've always mentioned in my videos, the content is mechanic. It's really not as much on the healing or on the DPS side. So as long as you know the mechanics and you have the tools to solve them, you'll be perfectly fine. And I have my specs set up to where I have all the tools I need at all time. And like I said, with that last slot, because I don't need to CC as often, I rotate that in and out as needed. Here will be my specializations for the wand weapon. Now, again, for that Cursed Nightmare, the sleep, I do run that middle specialization if I am taking this, because you don't want to wait for the sleep to work, because that's how it does work. You activate the skill and you have to wait a timer before it actually, puts them to sleep. That middle specialization puts them to sleep instantly. If you don't need that sleep, then what you can do is you can run the middle specialization on Curse Explosion. And what that'll do is it'll just increase your dots damage by 10% per stack. So you can just interchange those. They both cost 5 points for the specialization. Everything else here, I do select on purpose. The Blessed Barrier increased range, the Clay Salvation increased range, and the weakness removal. The swift healing, you can take some specializations out of here. For example, you can remove healing transfers, which does recover your health when you heal somebody. If you aren't taking as much damage and you're good at dodging, you can drop that specialization and pick up something else if you wanted to. I have all 4 in there just in case. That way I never have to worry about healing myself. I'll always get healed just by healing other people. I also do grab some of the specializations that give some of these abilities mana regen to my teammates. That way I can keep their mana up, keep my mana up, and make sure that they can do enough damage to kill the boss by having that mana. Here we got the bow specializations. I do run a few in here, 18 points in total, which is about 3 of these specializations. I run the strafing one, which just allows me to use strafing 3 times. I run the Nature's Blessing for a cooldown reduction, and then when you do use it, you get the movement speed area around you. It'll help you like dodge things if your group is stacked up. You can toss down some group AoEs, and then you can use this to allow everybody to kind of scatter right afterwards. If you didn't want that, you can take that point out, put it somewhere else. It's not necessary to this build. On screen are the masteries for both the bow and the wand. I try and grab all of the mastery points that do give me the stats I'm looking for: mana regen, max mana, cooldown reduction, attack speed, and then also some form of damage as well. That way I have all of my bases covered. And this will be the DPS variant of that same build. So different abilities, but same armor set, same mastery loadout. I'm showing you a clip here of how it performs. I grabbed as much as I possibly could in this crater without any of this kind of de-aggroing due to range, just to showcase like how strong this is. Now, can you do this much at an Abyss dungeon like floor 5, 6 of Silas or the island? Probably not. You are still a healer. You don't have the defensives to tank all that or the damage output to kill it this quickly. But if you're in a group, you can definitely do some work with this. Also, you still have some healing to provide support. This will be the skill loadout for that exact build. Now, your primary source of all that damage really will be coming from the Flash Wave Blitz cooldown reset Flash Wave again combo. But that combo does take a while to come back up, with Blitz having like a minute cooldown, so you won't be able to do it too often. So the other abilities are there to fill in while you kind of wait for that cooldown. The tornado ability that you saw me fire off first and then go into that flash wave was really due to the fact that the flash wave charge up is fairly long, and as you're farming stuff, they will most likely knock you back, knock you down, try to stun you. So the tornado is there to kind of knock everything up and allow you to set up for that flash wave combo. Here I will include the specializations for both the bow and the wand for both of these. Now, this build is more AoE focused to clear out massive groups. It's not really single target based. So while I guess you could run this in a dungeon as a DPS, and you will be able to pull large packs, the meta that's been going on in dungeons right now is to skip trash a lot of times and like go to the bosses and jump in some water to reset everything and then fight the boss. So you could DPS with this in a dungeon, but probably not advisable. If people do want it and request it, I can set up a single target build as bow wand for a boss fight. But for the time being, I just use this for outside farming, either contracts or abyss overworld dungeons, or I default to the healer spec for dungeon play. I will include a link to my questlog.gg profile loadout for these two builds if that is more helpful to follow than the screenshots you see on screen. So if anybody wants to go that route, again, they'll be in the description. And as always, if you did enjoy this video, if it was informative, let me know in the comment section. If I missed something or you wanted a more in-depth explanation on any of this, let me know. I know sitting here talking about skill names and numbers can get very lengthy and boring, so I tried to cut it short. And again, if you liked it, please like the video and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. As always, this was Fate. Have a great day.